Deliberately pixelated, that blur covers Israel's nuclear facility, and it's been that way since 2000 when U.S. satellite imaging companies agreed to cap resolution over sensitive Israeli sites at 2 meters per pixel. Everywhere else, they can go down to zero point 0.5 meters. This isn't a glitch. It's policy. And Israel isn't alone. Yes, there are dozens of locations across the planet where satellite maps show you something wrong, outdated, or missing entirely. Not because the satellites can't see them, because someone decided you shouldn't. Let me show you what's been quietly erased from the maps you use every single day. American Vanishing Act. Area 51 is the obvious one. Everyone knows Groom Lake is blurred on satellite maps. That's expected. Secret aircraft testing, high security, whatever. But did you know Area 51 isn't one base? It's a network. Tonopah Test Range, 70 miles northwest, operated the F-117 stealth fighter program for 8 years before the public knew the aircraft existed. During that time, Google Earth showed it as a low-resolution smudge with outdated imagery from the 1990s. When journalists started asking questions in 2006, the resolution suddenly improved. The updated imagery showed empty hangars and runway markings. Exactly what you'd expect from a defunct Cold War relic. Except Tonopah wasn't defunct. It was actively testing MQ-9 Reapers in classified drone programs. They just moved operations underground and into unmarked buildings that, from satellite view, looked like abandoned storage. The base didn't disappear. The appearance did. Next, Pantex near Amarillo, Texas. If you search for it right now, you'll see a sprawling industrial complex. Looks normal, a bit boring even. What the map won't tell you is that Pantex is the only facility in the United States that assembles and disassembles nuclear warheads. Every active nuke in the U.S. arsenal either came from Pantex or will eventually return there to be dismantled. Google Maps shows the outer perimeter, the guard stations, some administrative buildings. What it doesn't show, even in high resolution, are the weapons bays. If you compare satellite images from 2008 versus 2018, certain structures that appeared in earlier imagery are simply gone in later updates. Not demolished, not replaced, erased. The buildings are still there. You just can't see them anymore. Y-12 problem? Oak Ridge, Tennessee, home to the Y-12 National Security Complex, where the U.S. stores and processes weapons-grade uranium. In 2012, an 82-year-old nun and 2 peace activists cut through 4 fences, walked past motion detectors, and spray-painted anti-war slogans on the side of a building that housed enough enriched uranium to build multiple nuclear weapons. They were inside for 2 hours before anyone noticed. The incident was a security disaster. The Department of Energy's response wasn't just to fix the fences, it was to fix the maps. Within 6 months, updated satellite imagery of Y-12 began showing significantly lower resolution over key storage facilities. Structures that had been clearly visible in 2011 became pixelated blobs by 2013. The official explanation? Imagery refresh cycles. Right, because that's definitely how satellite updates work, selectively downgrading resolution only over uranium storage buildings while keeping nearby residential areas in crisp detail. How deletion actually works. But wait, NASA doesn't manually edit images with Photoshop. It's silly to think like that. They don't need to. There are 4 ways locations disappear from satellite maps. All of them are legal. None of them are conspiracies. First, resolution caps. The U.S. government regulates what commercial satellites can publish. Under the Kyle Bingaman Amendment, companies like Maxar and Planet Labs must obtain licenses before selling high-resolution imagery of certain regions. Those licenses come with conditions. Israel, maximum 2 meters per pixel. China's missile test ranges, same deal. Certain U.S. military installations. The resolution recommendation is whatever the Department of Defense says it is. Second, image substitution. Satellite companies don't fly one satellite. They fly constellations. Dozens of satellites capturing thousands of images daily. When Google or Apple buys imagery, they don't get real-time feeds. They get curated archives. If a sensitive facility appears too clearly in one image, the provider can substitute an older, lower quality image from a different satellite pass. You're not looking at today's imagery. You're looking at whatever version passed the censorship filter. Third, delayed releases. Most commercial satellite imagery has a lag, sometimes days, sometimes months. For sites like Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, where B-2 stealth bombers are based, the imagery you see online is often 6 to 8 months old. This is because if adversaries could track bomber deployments in real time using Google Earth, that would be a slight national security problem, don't you think? Fourth, international agreements. In 1996, the U.S. and Israel signed a memorandum stating that American companies couldn't sell imagery of Israel at resolutions higher than what's available from foreign providers. Since most foreign satellites operated at 2-meter resolution back then, that became the cap. The rule still applies, even though modern satellites can image at 0.31 meters. So when you look at Dimona, you're not seeing what the satellites see. You're seeing what a 28-year-old agreement allows you to see. Researchers who noticed. In 2019, a Dutch researcher named Christian Schriebert started archiving historical satellite imagery from Google Earth's time-lapse feature. He noticed something strange. Certain military sites in Nevada and New Mexico showed activity in 2015 imagery, structures, vehicles, construction. But by 2017, those same locations reverted to older images from 2012. Not updated, replaced. He filed a FOA request asking why. The response 14 months later was 11 pages. 9 of them were completely redacted. The 2 visible paragraphs confirmed that imagery substitution occurs to protect operational security and that no further details can be provided. Let's translate it for you guys. Yes, we're doing it. No, we won't tell you how. In 2016, a team at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies analyzed satellite imagery of China's Lop-Ner nuclear test site and found that between 2008 and 2014, over 40 square kilometers of the facility were consistently shown in low resolution or replaced with cloud cover in publicly available images. Not because of weather, because Chinese authorities requested it under data sharing agreements with satellite operators. The same thing happens with Russia's Plesetsk Cosmodrome, where ICBM tests occur. The site appears in maps. You can see the launch pads. What you can't see, even in the highest resolution available, are the assembly buildings. They're there. Other intelligence satellites have confirmed it. You're just not allowed to look. Portsmouth and the submarine problem. Portsmouth Naval Shipyard in Maine builds and repairs nuclear submarines. If you search for it on Google Maps, you'll see the shipyard. Docks, cranes, some buildings. But if you compare it to satellite imagery from private intelligence firms like Maxar, which aren't bound by the same public release restrictions, you'll notice the public version is missing entire dry docks. Not blurred, absent. In the public map, there's just water where submarines are actively under construction. A 2021 investigation by the War Zone found that at least 6 U.S. Navy facilities showed similar discrepancies. The Navy's official comment? We don't comment on the accuracy of commercially available mapping tools. Cool. So they're not denying it. They're just not confirming it, which is somehow worse. What this actually means, every time you open a map app, you're not looking at Earth. You're looking at a filtered version of Earth, edited by governments, satellite companies, and international agreements you've never heard of. The map is a lie of omission. It shows you enough to navigate, enough to feel informed, but not enough to see what's actually there. And get this, you'd never know unless you went looking. Most people don't compare historical satellite imagery. Most people don't file FOIA requests or cross-reference intelligence databases. They see a blurry patch and assume it's a camera issue. They see an outdated image and assume the satellites haven't flown over recently. They trust the map because, why wouldn't you? But the map isn't neutral, it's curated. And what gets curated out isn't random, it's intentional. Locations disappear because someone, somewhere, decided that you seeing them was a bigger risk than you not seeing them. And they did it quietly. No announcements, no disclaimers. Just a resolution downgrade here, an image swap there. Most of the time it's justified. National security, ally protection, operational secrecy. But sometimes it's just convenient. In 2020, a Turkish military base in northern Syria appeared in high resolution on Bing Maps, while Google Earth showed the same area in 2015 imagery. I guess Microsoft didn't have the same agreements with Turkey that Google did. Same satellites, same planet, different maps. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed something off on Google Maps? A blurry patch that didn't make sense? An outdated image in the middle of a fully updated area? Drop it in the comments. Let's see how many of these glitches we can find. If this changed how you see maps, hit subscribe because I've got way more stories like this coming. And check out the next video right here.